You want my review of Arusha and the End of Time? No. No, 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 no. That would be my review. But just for you guys, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more because I seem to be in the minority of the people who do not like this book. The entire internet is raving about it and I wasn't even able to finish it, guys. I DNF'd it at page 142. Oh, there's so many problems with this book, guys. As an Indian and as a mythology lover, I was just like, what? As a fan of Hindu mythology, I was actually very excited to read this book. You know, two teens go on a quest, meet the gods, all that kind of thing. Something which I loved in Percy Jackson. I loved Percy and I loved Annabeth, and I was expecting to love Aru and Minnie, especially because Rick Riordan has really endorsed Arusha and the End of Time. So the story is of two girls, Aru and Minnie, who find out that they are reincarnations of the Pandava brothers. Now the Pandava brothers were 5 brothers who fought against their cousins in a great battle called the Mahabharat, and they won in the end. So they were very good people, and so Arusha and Minnie are reincarnations of the Pandavas, and they have to defeat this demon called the Sleeper through a series of quests and kind of save the world. Now let me tell you my problems, guys. Number 1, it is too similar to Percy Jackson, except I did not like the main characters. I thought Aru was like really arrogant for no reason. I found Minnie to be mousy and timid and weird. It was boring, nothing was gripping. I was not invested in their story, their quests, the challenges they faced, and I definitely wasn't invested in the end of their adventures because I stopped reading at page 142. Also, there are so many glaring errors. The author is of Indian origin, she should have checked. At one point they are counting how many days they have left, okay? And there is the Hindi symbol for the number 6. And Minnie, when asked what number it was, goes Saat, 6. These are 2 sentences, okay? Saat, full stop, 6, full stop. No, dude, 6 is 6. It is not Saat in Hindi. Saat is 7. So she basically just called the number both 7 and 6. Big error, dude. Should have been caught by someone. Second, okay, in Hindu mythology there are demons called Rakshasas, okay, and they are really evil and hell-bent on destruction, killing people, so on and so forth. In this book the author calls them Rakshas, and unfortunately it does not fit their description because Raksha means protection. So she really should have kind of altered the word or kept the original word in such a way that there is still a level of meanness and scariness behind it. Problem number 3, the inclusion of Bollywood stereotypes. So there is invisible wind blowing in the air and there are songs playing in the background. First of all, wind is always invisible, okay? And that is now not what Bollywood movies are like. They are complex, they have many layers, and they are not just songs and wind. So stop it. Okay, for the next part, I'm going to give my own opinion about the portrayal of Hinduism in this book. I'm going to tell you guys, this is completely my own point of view. You do not have to agree with this at all, okay? I am talking from my heart. I am a Hindu, although not a practicing one or a very religious one, but I felt absurdly protective of my gods and my mythology, and I did not like the absurd way in which they were presented. The thing is, Hinduism is a living religion that is practiced even today. So you can't give it the same treatment as Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Roman mythology, which is what Rick Riordan did in his successful series. You can't do that to Hinduism. You can't show me a Valmiki in a hippie t-shirt. He's the guy who wrote the story of the Mahabharata down. And you can't show me Hanuman, who is a god, in a blazer. I found that very ridiculous. And they kept calling him monkey face, monkey face. Do it once and then stop. And yes, Hindus do believe in reincarnation, But the Pandavas were mortals, okay? They died in the war. They died at the end of it, and they are not going to keep reincarnating themselves as the Pandavas and repeating the story over and over. That's not how it works. Now I know you guys will say, okay, Arusha is a work of fiction and the author can take her own liberties and you don't have to be so picky about it, and if you don't like it, don't read it, find something else which is more accurate according to your own version of mythology. And yes, I should, and I did. So if you want to read some good Indian works about Indian Hindu mythology, I have two recommendations for you. The first is The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakurni, and this is also about the Mahabharata, but this is from the perspective of Draupadi, who was the wife of all 5 of the Pandava brothers. So it's her view of the war and the relationships between the Pandava brothers and their cousins. For a retelling of the Ramayana, which is another Indian Hindu epic that is mentioned in Arusha, I really recommend reading Sita by Devdutt Pattanayak. Again, this is the Ramayana from Sita's point of view. So both of them are feminist retellings, very fast paced, amazingly, worded, and the story is really engaging. So if you really want to dip your toes into mythological fiction, I really recommend both of these books. This is rather a controversial video, isn't it? So if you have read Arusha and the End of Time, let me know what you thought of it. If you loved it, that's fine. My taste can be different from yours. Just let me know and maybe we can have a discussion about it in the comments. Or are you in my corner of negative reviews? If you are, let me know so I won't feel so alone. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate your support. Hit subscribe so you can watch more videos for me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.